Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
And I'm Marcia Parker.
And we are back to do another patron-requested review. Thank you very much to Ms. Marie for requesting this one. And we are going to be covering After Midnight, which was it this year or last year that it was released?
This year.
It was this year. Wow,
Yeah.
Brand new. So this is actually a straight-to-VOD creature movie.
Yeah.
But it's also, I gotta say, it was a lot more heavy on the relationship drama than I was anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to say that I didn't necessarily mind it because it was an interestingly told story. Mm-hmm. It was not something that we've seen a million times, even if the two different halves taken separately, the answer to that is yes. When you put them together in this way, it felt new to me. So I gotta say I really enjoyed it, and especially all the way up to the ends that has one of those kinds of ends that certain horror movies pull off, where it just has this feeling of like, wow, okay, I like that ending. It's weirdly satisfying. So I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Your overall thoughts?
I enjoyed it too. It was very interesting because there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of heavy on the story, like you said. That it made me go, is this really a horror movie or not? And then, but then you realize, like, yeah, it is still very much a horror movie, and it was very interesting. It was very different. We've been watching a lot of movies lately, like as we do. We love to consume, and this was so different. It was nice and refreshing to watch.
Yeah, you've been tackling a lot of the patron requests recently, and
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's been leading you down some not so great paths. But the last group of ones that I put on there, actually, it's a good group of movies I've been finding.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie, it starts off. I mean, tackling the story. It is about. Well, it starts off seemingly about a man who is newly single, and he was very much in love and with a wonderful woman. They had a fantastic relationship where this is how the movie's presented. You see the relationship and the nice stuff, and then you flash forward briefly to a later time where he is clearly on his own in the same house with a couch pushed up against the front door and paranoid about something. And it goes back and forth, and you quickly realize that in the future, he is fending off a creature that's coming every single night and trying to get in at him. And as the movie progresses, as he continues to face this thing and the stakes get upped further and further, you see sort of the de-evolution of his relationship, and then ultimately those two stories kind of converge, and it ends up being more than just him, but he has to try and convince people of what's been going on. So again, I don't want to say more than that because it might be spoilerish, and this movie is being brand new. I do recommend you guys watch this, and I even recommend the rental cost was, I think, $7 or $4, something like that. Totally worth it. Totally worth the rental. I'll be getting it on Blu-ray when it's available because it just was unique enough in that way, and so I really enjoyed how the story was presented. Again, the mixture of the two things kept it fresh through the whole way.
Yeah, and you really didn't know what to expect. It's definitely one of those things like, is he going crazy? Is this just an allegory for his relationship?
Right.
Or is there really a creature? And there's evidence for all three throughout the movie, and you're like, how is this even going to end? And the end just like, it got me, I'll tell you that. I literally was like, ah!
Well, there's a scene that goes on so long.
Yeah, and you're like,
and it's
okay.
like, it's you're like, wow, they're really going to do the whole thing?
They're
like,
really committed to this.
Okay, they're going for it. And then it really does disarm you. To the point where you're like, Jesus, this is, wait, what? Like, it's one of those things. Yeah. And then you're like, holy crap, okay, we're in it now. And that, it's, again, without ruining, but yeah, so you had the same reaction that I did at that point then. Okay.
And I don't mind that. I actually it makes sense that it went directly to VOD. It's not a movie that you're going to want to go and see in the theater, or you need to. It's definitely a home watch that you can just kind of cuddle up on the couch and watch and have and enjoy it. And I think they were really successful in that, because it's a story. You know, you're kind of, it's a little bit like A24, because it's a character piece, and it's not based off of the trailer. It's not like really heavy into the creature, but at the same time, or the horror aspect, but at the same time, you are getting a horror movie, and it does pay off. So I do agree. I like it a lot. I thought that they were very successful.
And the acting, I mean, segueing into that, it was all strong across the board, especially the main couple. The main guy has a lot to carry, and so does she. And there's a particular scene where there's a long form conversation that happens that seems like it happens in basically a one shot. Yeah. And that was so well done. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, this feels so real. Yeah. And the two actors were just the reason for it. Everyone else that kind of appears serves their typical horror movie kind of purpose, the supporting cast thing, but what matters is the two leads, and man, do they really pull it off.
They felt so genuine. I was like, I feel like I'm part of this relationship, and that's
uncomfortably so. Like, you're like, I shouldn't be in the room for this.
Right, exactly. But they, and it's just, they did such a good job with portraying their characters. And the writers used them so well. I don't know, the melding of the writing and these actors was perfect, because it felt so real, it felt so genuine, and like you said, it was the main two characters. Everybody else is like, okay, whatever, they're there, but they weren't really meant to be the focal point, and they didn't need to be stronger than what they were either. Right. I mean, they I felt like they were meant to kind of feel like second act people.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
It was probably a choice. Yeah.
Yeah. So your main focus was directly on the two main characters, and actually three, because you have the creature.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's a really well done movie, you guys. Lastly, let's talk about the effects. Again, we can't say whether everything ends up being real or not, but there are effects in the movie. And honestly, I have to shout out the production design and the set dress, because the way things progress from a happy home to a home that's been ravaged by stuff, very well done, very well crafted and portrayed. But the creature effects themselves, it's all practical. I love that it's all practical. So I am on board for what they did. And you can tell that it's kind of budgetarily restricted, but they made such smart choices that you don't really notice that. Yeah. Because it doesn't feel like it needs to be any bigger than it is. It's all in this one location, essentially. And you don't need to have, a bunch of digital effects for what we end up, getting and stuff like that. So I thought the effects served the movie tremendously.
Yeah, none of it took me out. Set design was phenomenal, and there wasn't a lot of like gore and all this other stuff happening, but when things did occur, like you said, it was practical, and it did feel natural, and it felt right, and it didn't take you out of the story, which is all you can ask for when you watch a movie, and to be entertained. So I thought they did a fantastic job with the budget that they had.
I think you're right. I think if it had been digital, it would have felt out of place in this movie.
Yes.
Completely. Even if it was really high end, it still wouldn't have felt as real as their acting had made the movie feel.
Exactly. It was unnecessary. It would have been way too much over the top. I think the way the story was built, it needed to be what it was, and good job. I love this movie. It's great.
Yeah, tremendous. I'm glad you had the same reaction. Honestly, I didn't know how you were going to react to this one.
Nobody does.
Nope, Marcia. Woof, nope, not right now. All right, so
it could go either way.
So if you guys enjoyed this review, click that like button and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. If you don't want to miss other episodes going forward, that's a way to make sure you don't. If you want to become a patron like Ms. Marie, you can request movies for us to review like this, or even at a higher tier, you can have us do commentaries or more. So thank you guys very much for watching. The link to that is in the description box as well. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
And I'm Marcia Parker.
And remember, stay scared.